It is reported that the MI5 watch list has 40,000 suspects on it. That's way, way too unwieldy, isn't it, Minister?
The police and security service obviously do receive, literally every week there may well be hundreds of new leads, and they have an incredibly difficult job to do to make what are, I think, incredibly challenging judgments every single day about where to place resources. And I certainly do not underestimate the challenge that they have. Of course.
My question was the size of the list, the size of the task. 40,000.
Oh, yeah.
That's a football crowd. That's impossible to monitor that many people.
That's what I'm saying, Nick. That it's these really, really hard judgments that that MI5 and the police have to do, and therefore the work that is involved in all of that. But equally, I would underline where over the last 3 years, 25 terrorist attacks disrupted, and I pay tribute to our world-leading security and intelligence service in what they do achieve. But we must remain vigilant. The threat does, sadly, very firmly remain there. And as this evil and callous act that we saw at the week underlined, that need for vigilance, but equally not allowing it to change the way in which we live our lives, and making sure that those who would seek to use terror to try and change that do not succeed.
Finally, how is contact maintained between the different services? That is to say, if someone has become a person of interest to MI5, how is that reported to the local police or the prison authority or the parole board? What sort of agency ensures that there's this everybody talks to everyone else, Minister?
Yeah, there is good what they call multi-agency working. In other words, the different work between our counter-terrorism policing, who then will work and link in with local policing, the security service work day in, day out, working with the police alongside them. But again, we are looking at what more can be achieved in terms of fusing those things together. But there are very good links between the agencies in that way. But then how it then links down into the community too, and the work of Prevent and the programmes within local authorities that actually support that as well.
Final observation. Let me assure you, Minister, nothing sticks in my listeners' craw than hearing the Prime Minister saying lessons will be learnt. I urge you and your colleagues to find a different form of words, because they do find it rather sickening. And perhaps one lesson might be, and I know you can't comment on this case, but someone involved in a case such as this, less than 3 weeks after he leaves the jail, there's no monitoring of him whatsoever. Presumably going forward, cases such as these, when we're letting someone out who's beaten up a police officer, racially aggravated assault and carrying a knife, we might keep an eye on him. Would that be an idea, Minister?
Well, as I say, I'm not going to comment on the specifics, but
well, how about learning that lesson?
But the point that you make about those who are released from prison, those who are at risk or identified as being involved in terrorism, absolutely. And I would point you to many occasions in the past where the police and the security services have done just that to disrupt attacks in this country. But yes, if there is experience, if there are changes that need to be made as a consequence of this terrible, terrible case, then absolutely, that is what we will do. And national security and protecting the public could not be more important.
Great.